This is what I did. I left my family, including my teenage daughter. I went to a state that had a town not on the internet yet, had my name legally changed, and found out that a program exists that gives survivors of domestic violence and violent crimes new identities. And while doing this, I discovered I was pregnant. Not ever wanting to know anything about the crime that was planned to end my life, I took this as a gift from God. When he was born and looked just like me, I got my confirmation. During the name change, the judge involved with my case called me back into her chambers and congratulated me for being so brave. I certainly didn't feel brave then, but I do now. I'm so grateful and honored to have been asked to share my story at all the vigils for the awareness of domestic violence, and to be able to make a difference in the lives of future survivors of domestic violence by talking. Please don't let anyone hurt you verbally, emotionally, or physically. If it feels wrong, it probably is. Was what I did easy? No. I couldn't take my daughter, my college education, my degrees, my work history. I couldn't even take my Blockbuster video account with me. I could never go home again. No weddings, no parties, no going home for the holidays, no funerals, no birthdays, no high school reunions, not even my own daughter's graduation and future wedding. Nothing that linked me to my family or my past. I'd been told in the hospital I couldn't get a new identity or even think about it because of his job. He would always find me, and before I left town, he did. He'd find me through my credit cards, VIN number, and phone records. He would always know where I was, even when I rented a car. He informed me he knew which card I had been using to rent the car, what kind it was, what hotel I was in, and the spot where the car was parked. I would come home and drawers would be left open, pictures rearranged on my walls, but the doors would always remain locked. It was as if I was crazy to think anything was different. Anyone that helped me had this happen to them too. He let me know that when I was in the coma on life support, I had been fingerprinted so that I could never work in my profession or go anywhere without him finding me or knowing where I was. He said it didn't matter where I went. He would always be there. This affected even my parents. When my mom got sick, I knew it was time to take the drastic step that would change my life as I knew it forever. This is when I put my survival plan into action. That was the day I lost my identity, as I knew it. That was the day I died. It took me 7 years not to turn when someone called my birth name. It took me even longer not to duck and block my face when anyone reached their arm or hand above my head, which is embarrassing, but a fight or flight reflex. I have had to move over 25 times since 2000. In my state, the whole town is covering up. I had to walk away from my married daughter. I don't get to see her or have a life with her for her safety and well-being. I also have a teen daughter and son. It sickens me to realize that my children have not been able to see their mother, much less talk to her, because someone would rather have gotten away with murder than simply granted a divorce. I'm currently in the address confidentiality program. 19 states have statutes authorizing address confidentiality programs. These programs are solely for survivors of domestic violence or sexual assault. The state entity running the program assigns a dummy address or an address at the state office. The entity then forwards my mail to the location of my choice. Most states with address confidentiality programs have created procedures to address court summons, service of process, and other official mail. They also have provisions for confidentiality of the information, including voter registration. In most states, you can even vote by absentee ballot. Addresses are exempt from publication with state voter registry records. I want everyone to know there is help available out there. The programs that help me can help you. The local shelters have trained people there. Law enforcement is trained to help you. There is help. I know that if it hadn't been for the grace of God, I would be dead now and no one would ever have found me. So the first time you get hit, punched, kicked, verbally abused, bitten, beaten, slapped, or shoved should be the very last time. If you are afraid, join the crowd. Do it afraid. Do it for others. Do it for yourself. Act as if your life depends on it, because it does. My prayers are for all of the survivors present, for the loved ones who have lost people to this crime, and to all the law enforcement officers who deal with this day in and day out, consistently putting their lives in danger. Thank you. By the way, once the fear has subsided and you are not looking over your shoulder as much anymore, there is a feeling of no fear. Not having to rush home and make sure everything is perfect. It is a great feeling. And to all of you, future survivors, I pray for your safety and courage each and every day. Thank you, Chelsea.